looks like right now.
You're a trooper. We appreciate you reporting for us live there up in Alexandria. Thank you so much, Sharon. A reminder, you can get the latest weather updates through our KARE 11 app or by checking KARE11.com or our social media pages. Some breaking news in St. Cloud. In just the last hour, we learned 4 corrections officers were hurt in a fight at a prison. It happened this morning in the dining hall at the Minnesota Correctional Facility, St. Cloud. All 4 corrections officers were checked out at the hospital and released. The prison is on lockdown tonight, and authorities are investigating what happened. A big move to try to avoid big floods in the Fargo-Moorhead area. North Dakota and Minnesota have been trying to reach an agreement on a plan for years. Today, the Minnesota DNR announced it will grant a conditional permit for the flood diversion project. KARE 11's Boyd Hoopert looks at the plan and why not everyone is on board.
So if you need to get out, you need to get out now.
Fargo's floods, for those who've lived through them, have become a broken record of sandbagging and battling, sometimes successfully, sometimes not. Today, a step toward a permanent solution.
Minnesota has approved a permit for the Fargo-Moorhead Flood Risk Management Project.
DNR Commissioner Tom Landwehr says Minnesota is satisfied a plan to divert floodwater around Fargo-Moorhead now addresses previous impacts on the environment and property owners.
For those lands that are affected, there needs to be some compensation for landowners, and so this new proposal is much more detailed in how those landowners will be compensated if they have negative impacts.
I guess our main reaction is really a disappointment.
Dave Morkin heads a group of 800 property owners upstream from Fargo, not less, but more likely to be flooded once the diversion is complete.
My family bought this property back in 1913. It has never flooded.
And now, under this plan, how likely is it that you're going to be flooded at some point?
If we have another flood in the terms of 09, I would say very highly likely we would be flooded.
Morkin's land is among 12,000 acres that would be newly susceptible to flooding, while an estimated 57,000 acres would be protected.
So there's always this kind of trade-off between the benefits and the adverse impacts.
Winners and losers in yet another flood fight. Boyd Hoopert, KARE 11 News.
Minnesota's approval of the Fargo-Moorhead flood diversion is a big step, but other obstacles do remain, including a pending federal lawsuit jointly filed by Wilkin County, Minnesota and Richland County, North Dakota. A nationwide CenturyLink outage is now in its 15th hour. What we know and what services are impacted. Plus,
In Wisconsin this holiday week, the term bah humbug has new
was ticketed price, plus a tax-free discount, and no interest till 2022. The New Year's sale going on now at all Becker Furniture World locations.
Things.
yeah, it's invasive rain. I loved the snow. We thought it was beautiful last night.
It was
right?
pretty for time. And did you get out there and enjoy it? I told everybody, get out there and play
I
if
did.
you wanted that, because it was short-lived. By about 1 a.m., it turned over to rain pretty quickly and got
It was
sloppy.
a slushy mess this morning, too,
We
wasn't
picked up about 3/4 of an inch of rain so far.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Take a look at some of these rainfall amounts. Yeah, rainfall amounts. Almost New Year's. Twin Cities, officially at the airport, South St. Paul and Lakeville, all coming in at 3/4 of an inch of water. When it's all done this evening, when it finally turns back over to snow, we could end up with an inch of just plain old rain in the metro. Very rare to do that in the depths of winter. We'll go outside. We're still in a little bit of a break. It's starting to rain lightly again right now in the backyard. I'm going to leave the umbrella behind. It's pretty light. It was pouring a half hour ago, so that's an improvement. But we're going to see more rain yet on and off here through the evening. Now, people always want to know, well, what if this were snow? And normally, it's kind of, there's a caveat with it. Well, you know, if it's warm in the summer, you can't take those totals and multiply it by 10 because you wouldn't have that much moisture in the atmosphere. But this is a scenario where we actually could. We picked up about 3 inches of snow last night, and that 3/4 of an inch of rain, had it been just a few degrees colder, we'd be up to about 10.5 inches of snow right now, and it would still be falling. So we wouldn't be done yet. So that's how we could have easily ended up with a foot of snow, and why areas to our north and west are going to end up with that. So tonight we're going to see that rain turn over to snow, probably about 10 o'clock or so, 1 inch, 2 at the very most inches of snow on top of what's going to be some quickly freezing slush and puddles out there. On and off snow showers tomorrow. No more accumulation really though, and falling temps through the day. So that's going to be the biggest thing in the metro now, is everything's all wet. We've cleaned all the salt off. So when things freeze tonight, it's going to get icy very quickly later on. And then we got a couple of bouts of some cold here, bitter cold, heading into especially the first couple days of the new year. So this swath in red here I've circled has been the area that's been snowing for more than 24 hours now, almost continuously. So that's where it's really piling up. We've been on the warm side, of course, with the rain, still raining across the metro. We've occasionally been seeing some snow mixing in. That's what this bright band was. That was some wet snowflakes mixing in with the rain. That's lifted north now. Got a bit of a break, but now more light rain starting to move back in. So this will move across the metro yet over the next hour or so. So most of us will see more rain still on and off here for at least a few more hours. And then we'll see that transition to snow. But later tonight, there's not a whole lot of snow left. So that's why we're not going to see much in the way of accumulation here in the metro. A few more inches for a few spots out west. Some of these places like Alexandria, Brainerd on top of half foot to a foot of snow already in some places. North Shore still picking up several more inches. Finland, as we showed you, 18 inches of snow on the ground already there. Slowly falling temps. By midnight, we're still above freezing, though it will be snowing then. Later in the night, though, the actual temperature drops below freezing. This is when it's going to get treacherous, right between that 3 and 5 a.m. time, because those roads aren't treated, so everything's going to freeze pretty quickly and get slick. Windy conditions, you heard about blizzard conditions out west. This is why. Winds right now 20 to 40 miles an hour. The gusts are even higher. We're going to see that wind work its way in here as well as we head into the overnight. So don't be surprised to hear the wind whistling out there. Colder on Saturday. Not as we've been this cold already, though. Next week is when it gets really cold, in time for the first couple days of the new year. 10 below Wednesday morning at least. We're going to see some places, I think, in northern Minnesota in the 20s to 30 degrees below zero. Air temp, not wind chill, Dave.